Linear equations in the SAT are often pretty easy. I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you know how to solve a basic linear equation like this. I'm assuming you would all know how to solve this, but just in case, I'm going to remind you all. So if you move something over to the other side, right, you have to switch the sign. So it would be 2x equals 6 minus 7. 2x equals minus 1, x equals minus 1 over 2. Really easy, right? So moving on to the slightly more difficult parts of linear equations. First of all, you've got, in the SAT, you might get a linear equation with two variables. Now, if you get this, more often than not, they're going to give you the value of one of those variables, which will just make it really easy. You just plug that value into the expression and you continue to get the answer of the second variable. Very easy. Now, other times, they might give you a linear equation and an expression. And how would you solve this? Again, very easy. Take this first one over here that you have 2x plus 1 equals 5, which you are able to solve and find the value of x. They're asking here for what the value of this, like what the answer, for this expression would be. So if this, then what is the answer to this? Now, again, you solve this really easily. You just take this first expression and you solve it like we did to this one up here. You find the answer of x, and then you just plug that into the equation and you can get the answer. Now, linear inequalities, which is when you've got either something is greater than something or something is less than something, these are also solved nearly the same way as linear equations, except there's one key difference. If you're dividing, so if you've got the positive coefficient of x, positive coefficient, so 2x, coefficient of x is positive. You need to divide by 2, right, to get the answer of x. So because it's a positive coefficient, the direction of the inequality sign stays the same. However, if it's a negative coefficient, like we have right here, minus 2x, so minus 2x is greater than minus 4, we need to divide by minus 2 on both sides. And when we divide by a negative coefficient or a negative number, you need to flip the direction of the inequality. So minus 2x is greater than minus 4, which would mean x is less than 2. So linear equations can have any number of solutions. Most important thing is to look at the answer, how it's formatted. If you have something that looks, one second, let me just grab another color. If you have something that looks like this, x equals a, where a is a constant, then there's one solution. For example, if the answer to your equation after you solved it looks like this, the only solution for your equation is going to be x equals 2. Now, if you have something that looks like this, a equals b, where a and b are constants but different, then you're not going to have any solution. So let's say after you solve your equation, you get something that looks like this. Or if you wanted to continue solving it, like this. Or minus 3 equals 0, whatever, right? All of these are these constants. They're constants, but they're different from each other. And this is obviously not true. 6 does not equal to 3, which means that no matter what value of x you use, this equation is not going to have a solution. Now, if you manage to get at the end of your equation, x equals x, then you got lucky. Any value of x that you put in is going to be possible. There's going to be infinite solutions to this equation. Here's an example for that one. If you have 2x minus 1 equals 2x minus 1, you can solve this in a variety of ways. Easiest way to solve it, 2x equals 2x. Divide by 2, x equals x. There you go. No matter what value of x you put in, this is going to be true. Now in the SAT, linear equations can also come in the form of word problems. They might ask you, they might give you an equation and you need to get a certain value from that equation, or they might give you a problem and tell you to pull out the equation from that. So one thing you need to remember about linear equations, y equals ax, or it's basically any, anything like this, right? Y equals ax plus b, where the thing on this side of the equation is the total. This right here is something that happens one time, so like it's a one-time addition to it. And this is something that's repeated this many times. So here is an example that I'm going to solve for you just to give you an idea. I bought a mattress for $600. The initial payment is $150, and I pay monthly payments of $30. How many months will it take for me to pay it off? So let me set up the equation first. So let's say months is in M, right? That's the symbol we're going to use for M. So the total is $600. So everything needs to add up to $600. So first of all, I'm going to pay $150 one time, right? And then with that $150, I'm going to pay $30 every month. So if I pay 2 months, that's $60. If I pay 3 months, that's $90. But we're trying to figure out how many months. So I'm going to do 30 times M. And then we just solve this like a normal linear equation. 600 minus 150 is 450. 450 equals 30M. M equals 450 over 30, which is, let me just make sure I've got my answer right. 450 over 30, yep, is 15. So it will take me 15 months to pay off that mattress.